it's Mel here, and welcome back to Mel's Blind Life, the YouTube channel all about blindness. And today I want to briefly touch on the topic of how I trained my guide dog and my horse to be friends. So as you all know, this is Maggie. This is my 15 to standard bred off the track pacer. Hey darling. She's a bay mare. She's absolutely gorgeous. You will see in my last blind equestrian training and off the track pacer for riding video that she's learning how to be ridden. I haven't ridden her yet. You guys will certainly know when I have. And if we walk over the other side behind the horse, Penny, pop up. Good girl. You will see my guide dog Penny is here and laying on the outside of my gate. Hey Pen Pen. Good girl. So Penny and Maggie get along fairly well now. It's I've had Maggie for 10 months. I've had Penny for about the same time, and they both get along really, really well. And I'll show you some footage of them together. So here we are. As you can see, no sniffing. Penny is just down here, hanging around. And she's having a big shake. And you can see that Maggie is just standing right there. She doesn't have a problem with her. This one doesn't have a problem with Maggie. So we're all good. But how did we come to this? Well, it was quite a process, really. It started when I was first looking at Maggie, actually. I still had my retired guide dog, Darcy, and I was still taking him in lots and lots of places with me. He was retired by that point, but he was just, hanging around. And I took him lots of places still. And when I first came to working with Maggie, I was really interested in seeing how she would go with the dog. So I took Darcy out, who already had experience with horses, and I basically just hung out with Darcy and Maggie and sort of saw what happened with both of them. And Darcy was just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, it's another horse, I don't care. And Maggie was actually really, really good too. She had been, I don't want to say neglected, but she had been left to her own devices quite a bit for the first couple months before I sort of started getting to know her and getting to work with her. It'd be really nice if I turned around and had the horse in the background, wouldn't it? So Maggie, I wasn't sure how she would go with the dog. I was concerned that she would be like, what do I do? Do I freak out? Do I, whatever. But she was actually really, really good. And the day that really sort of cemented for me that Maggie and Darcy were going to be okay, and that Maggie would hopefully be okay with any future dogs, was the day that I had Maggie tied up and I was grooming her, and Darcy was just loose in the paddock. And I'd only been working with Maggie for about a week before that, and I hadn't got her. She wasn't mine at that point. I was just hanging out with her and spending time with her and looking after her for someone else. And she was standing in the paddock. I had her tethered as I was grooming her. Darcy, as I said, was just loose in the paddock, which I don't advise you do that, especially around a horse that you don't know. Wasn't exactly the smartest thing I've ever done, but I think I did initially tether him and then he came loose or something. I can't remember now, but anyway, don't leave your dog loose in the paddock with the horse. Anyway, so he was loose in the paddock, and I was concerned that he was going to not run away, but, you know, just disappear out of my sort of eye shot or earshot. And so I called him to me, and I was standing on the opposite side of Maggie to what Darcy was. And let's just say he took the shortcut. He went between her legs. He went between the front legs and the back legs, which, for those of you who aren't, you know, quite familiar with horses, you don't do that. It's really, really dangerous going between a horse's legs. And as soon as I realized that that was what he was going to do, I didn't have time to like stop him and say no and stuff. I was just, I had 10 seconds, not even like a tenth of a second, to just go, Lord, don't let her kick him. And she stood as still as a statue, and he just ran underneath her legs, between her front legs and her back legs. And I, as I said, I nearly died. It was terribly frightening, because as I said, I didn't know her very well. I didn't know what she was like with sudden movements and things like that, but she was fine. So that sort of cemented for me that Darcy and Maggie were both fine with each other. And then Penny came along. Now, when I applied for Penny, I didn't specify that I wanted a dog who was good with horses. I actually wasn't riding at that stage. I didn't have a horse. I wasn't involved in horses at all, for several different reasons. But I didn't specify that I wanted a dog who was good with horses. And so when I got her, it was a bit like, oh my gosh, you know, now what do I do? Because, guys, I literally started working Maggie the week that I got matched with Penny. So I got matched with Penny on the 12th of September, was when I got the phone call for, hey, you know, we found a dog that suits you, and we'd like to do a matching visit. And then on Friday the 13th of September, that was the day that I had organised to go out and see Maggie for the very first time. So it was literally like 24 hours between when I was told that I had been possibly matched with Penny and when I came out and saw Maggie for the first time, or went out and saw Maggie for the first time. So then it was a bit of a situation of, okay, well, I've been matched with this guide dog, and I've been working with this horse, and, you know, what do I do? And I just thought, well, okay, I'll just leave it for a few months and I won't bother about getting them to know each other. And I just left it, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to continue working with Maggie at that time or anything like that. So probably would have been maybe January, December, something like that. After I'd had Penny for a few weeks home, I took her out to the paddock for the first time, and she was really, really hyper. She was really, really excited, and hello. I didn't get any footage of that first visit, but let's just say it didn't go perfectly. Penny was just, as I said, really, really hyper, really, really excited, and she was running around like a lunatic. I didn't actually bring her on Maggie's side of the fence. I just brought her to the fence, but she was too hyper, and she didn't scare Maggie much, but Maggie was certainly like, ooh, what's that weird little white thing running around out there? I don't know if I like it. So at that point I was like, okay, well, we'll revisit this in a few months. And then it was really only since she's been at this particular adjustment property where we are now that I was like, okay, I have to do something about this, because I travel here via the bus. As you guys know, I have my office in the same town as where my adjustment is, and I travel out here on my bus from my place, and then a colleague drives me from town, from our office out here to my agistment, because it's only about 2 or 3 kilometers. It's close enough to walk, but the walk is too dangerous to do it. So I was like, okay, I take my dog to the office. I'm going to have to either teach her to be like good with Maggie, or I'm going to have to leave her at the office and come out and spend time with Maggie. So I was like, that's okay. We can work with this. So I brought Penny out about, I don't know, 5 weeks ago, something like that, for the first time. And I brought my colleague with me to help with the first initial... Oh, you're over that side now. That scared me. That's your head. Okay, that's okay. I brought my colleague with me to help with the first initial greeting, and to see like what happened when Maggie and Penny first met. And it went pretty well. They were both really, really good. They were both really, really quiet. Are you trying to photobomb me? My horse is like, hey, I'm here. Hello. Yes. So that went really, really well. I came and got Maggie on a lead rope, and my colleague had Penny, and that went extremely well, actually, for the first time that they were together. And then there was a little bit of wagging, a little bit of sniffing, no spooking. And so I thought, okay, well, this is good. So basically for that session, all I did was I took Penny's harness off. That's the thing that I forgot to mention, was I took Penny's harness off, and I let them just see each other, experience each other from a distance. We brought Penny into the paddock on lead with Maggie on a lead rope after we'd seen how they got on through the fence, and through the fence they were fine. And then they had a little sniff when I brought Penny through the gate, but she didn't stay in the paddock for very long. I just let them have a sniff of each other, and then for the rest of that particular session, I left them both on the separate sides of the paddock. So Maggie was obviously inside the paddock, and Penny was on the outside of the paddock. Then the next visit, I came out on my own. I caught the bus, and we just hung out, and I brought Penny into the paddock. And the thumbnail picture of this video, which is Maggie and Penny lying, Penny's lying next to Maggie's food bucket, and Maggie is eating off her food bucket, that was actually taken on the second visit when I brought Penny into the paddock. So that was really, really good. That was the second visit. And now Penny is perfectly fine with Maggie. Maggie is perfectly fine with Penny, and Penny even guides me while I am walking Maggie now, which is absolutely fantastic. And I will get some footage to insert here of me walking with the horse and the dog. Don't go over Mount Sandius. Oh, so that is really the story of how my horse and my guide dog got to be friends, really. And as I said, they're pretty good friends now. They're just chilling. If I step back, stay, girls. So there's Maggie. She's just standing there like, ugh, give me my breakfast. And then Penny's on the ground there somewhere, fully dressed. I leave her coat on because I don't want my dog turning into a red loam dog. What do you think? Do you like your little sister? What about you? Do you like your big sister? She's like, I'm gonna get up now. Yes, my ladies. Yes, my ladies. One lady, two lady. So the other thing I guess to mention is, had Penny had exposure to horses in the past? And the answer is yes. So my guide dog school, Guide Dogs Victoria, are near a children's farm that have ponies and sheep and cattle and Lord only knows what else. And they take the dogs, that is one of their puppy raising sessions. They take them to the children's farm and they see, and they see all the animals. And it's possible, I don't know for certain, but it is possible that my puppy raiser has exposed her to other horses, not just the ones at the children's farm. So she has seen horses before. Obviously, this one, being an ex-pacer, has seen all sorts of different things. I mean, she's easy to float. She's been to racetracks. She's, done all the stuff. So she's actually really, really good with dogs. The person who had her when I first started looking after her was like, oh, she doesn't like dogs because I think that they attacked her or something like that. But I'm wondering whether she just didn't like dogs running around the paddock like lunatics with her, because she's perfectly fine with my dogs. And I think the thing is that my dogs don't try and interact with her, which I think really helps. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this story about how they got to know each other and how I trained them to like each other. If you've got any questions, please let me know down below. And if you want to know anything more about guide dogs or horses, or living my life as a completely blind independent person, please let me know in the comments section down below. And also don't forget to subscribe to Mel's Blind Life, click the bell notification, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.